The Athletic have just stated that Spurs have just placed a bid for Mohammed Kudus of £50 million and West Ham United have turned the offer down. Fabrizio Romano has stated that Spurs are expected to bid again for the winger this coming week, and Mohammed Kudus wants a move to Tottenham. And Sky Germany have just stated that the deal is on. The player is keen to a move to Spurs, but there is currently a lot of interest in the Ghana international. 19 Tottenham Hotspur players reported for pre-season training to meet Thomas Frank for the first time on Saturday. The other players are expected to report back to training this coming week. And Juventus are interested in Yves Bissouma, and reports are stating that Daniel Levy wants between 13 and 17 million pounds for the Mali international. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another episode of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And if you do have a minute, please do vote for us at the Football Content Awards 2025. All of the details are below and your support is really appreciated. Thank you. Now let's start by talking about the Mohammed Kudus situation. Will he become a Tottenham Hotspur player in this summer transfer window? Well, Tottenham Hotspur have officially made a bid of £50 million for the West Ham star. David Ornstein on Saturday evening said the following: West Ham United have tonight received an offer from Spurs to sign Mohammed Kudus. Bid worth £50 million, turned down, but direct club-to-club talks continue. The 24-year-old Ghana international is prioritising Tottenham Hotspur if he does exit West Ham, and personal terms will not be an issue. Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has also reported on this story. He has stated that Spurs are set to bid again for Mohammed Kudus next week, as the player is keen on joining Spurs. Chelsea have also been in touch with Mohammed Kudus' camp, and more clubs are also interested, but Spurs want to accelerate this deal. Thomas Frank has already approved Mohammed Kudus as key target. And the very latest on this story from Sky Germany, they are stating that Spurs are pushing to sign Mohammed Kudus. Negotiations with West Ham are ongoing. The 24-year-old winger is very open to a move to Spurs. His agency, Roof, are leading the negotiations. There are many options for the player, but Tottenham do really want him. Saudi clubs are also interested, but his goal has always been to move and play at the highest level in Europe. Deal on. On Saturday, the majority of the Tottenham Hotspur squad returned to Hotspur Way after the summer break, 45 days after that glorious night in Bilbao, lifting the Europa League. The first batch of players returned to Hotspur Way as preparations started for the 2025-2026 campaign. Now, our first pre-season friendly is now just 13 days away, and that will take place away at Reading, 3 p.m. kickoff. Now, the players spotted at Hotspur Way on Saturday are as follows: Vicario, Kinski, Austin and Keeley, Spence, Dragushin, Vluzovic and Phillips, Abbott, Donnelly, Devine, Bergval and Kulusevski, and the forwards Solanke, Scarlett, Lancashire, Valise, Brian Hill and Yang Min Hyuk. So 19 squad members returned to Hotspur Way for pre-season training on Saturday. The other players will be returning from Sunday onwards, as Thomas Frank will be preparing for his first pre-season friendly. Now, the Boot Room have just reported that Chelsea and Tottenham are among sides trying to sign AZ Alkmaar star Kees Smit. The likes of Real Madrid, Ajax, Bayern Munich, RB Leipzig and Marseille have also got an eye on the player. And reports in Italy, particularly from Gazzetta dello Sport, they are stating that Juventus are now interested in signing Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Yves Bissouma. And other reports are stating that Daniel Levy wants between £13 and £17 million for the Spurs midfielder. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode, and let's start by talking about the 19 players that returned to Hotspur Way on Saturday, reporting for pre-season training, and our first friendly is just 13 days away, so these friendlies are going to come around very, very quickly, because the week after that, we've got Luton away, and then after that, we then go to Hong Kong, South Korea, then we go to Bayern Munich, then we've got the Super Cup final, and then the season starts. So it's going to come around very quick, and these games are going to come thick and fast. But 19 players have returned on Saturday. The other players will return Sunday onwards, and this is always staggered according to how some of these players' summers have gone, whether they've played international matches, etc., etc. So a lot of the other players will be back very, very soon in the next couple of days. 4 goalkeepers returned: Vicario, Kinski, Austin and Keeley. It'll be very interesting to see what happens to Josh Keeley, whether Thomas Frank will keep Josh Keeley here for the coming season or whether he will go out on loan again, because of course he's just come back from a very successful loan spell at Leyton Orient. Jed Spence has returned. Dragushin actually has spent a lot of time in the previous few weeks at Hotspur Way on his recovery from his long-term injury. Vluzovic, this is going to be an interesting one. Will Spurs send him out on loan? There have been lots of reports in the last couple of days stating that if Spurs do send him out on loan, the Bundesliga would be the place that they would probably send him. But, will he impress in pre-season training? He has been very, very highly regarded and highly rated throughout Europe, and really looking forward to seeing him play. So whether he will get minutes in pre-season friendlies, and then Thomas Frank will assess whether we keep him for the season or whether he does go out on loan. That's going to be an interesting one. Ashley Phillips, lots of reports at the moment stating that Spurs may cash in on him. Sheffield United apparently want to sign him for £6 million. Spurs did actually only sign him for £2 million from Blackburn only a couple of years ago. George Abbott has returned from his loan spell at Notts County. Jamie Donnelly from his loan spell at Leyton Orient. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they get any game time and whether they will be in Thomas Frank's plans for the Premier League campaign. Alfie Devine has also returned from his loan spell at Westerlo. So, will these players get minutes? This is going to be the interesting thing. Lucas Bergvall has returned. Dejan Kulusevski has returned. Of course, Dejan Kulusevski missed the Europa League final, so hopefully he will be back, very soon as well. Playing, on the pitch. Dominic Solanke has returned. Of course, he's just got married during the summer. Many congratulations to him. Dane Scarlett, Will Lancashire, there is a lot of speculation at the moment about him possibly going out on loan again, and more speculation about him going out on loan or back on loan to West Bromwich Albion, where, of course, he could play under former coach Ryan Mason, who has just taken over there. Aleko Veliz has just returned, and Brian Hill and Yang Min Hyuk. Those 3 players have returned after their loan spells. I would expect Brian Hill to be sold this summer, and there's lots of reports going around at the moment that Aleko Veliz, could be sold this summer as well. But both of them, along with Yang Min Hyuk, have all returned to Hotspur Way. So, I feel like with these 19 players that I've mentioned already, and there's a lot more to return. There's a lot of work to do within this squad. Thomas Frank has really got to assess this squad in the next 2 weeks, certainly before the that Reading friendly, and certainly before the Premier League season starts. He's got a lot of players there. Will he offload some of them? Will he sell some of them? Will he loan some of these players? Will some of these players be a surprise to all of us fans? Will some of these players really step up, really impress Thomas Frank and get Premier League minutes? But first of all, get a lot of minutes in pre-season against these teams that I've mentioned. We'd be playing Reading, we'd be playing Luton, then we'd be playing Arsenal, Newcastle, Bayern Munich, PSG, then the Premier League season starts. So a lot of football to be played and a lot of impressing to be done for the new boss, Thomas Frank, with these 19 players. Now, interestingly, there are reports stating that Juventus are interested in Yves Bissouma. He apparently is available between 13 and 17 million pounds. There's lots of reports at the moment linking Christian Romero away from the football club, Heung-min Son. Richarlison is another one being linked away at the moment. Lots of reports are coming out at the moment. And there are a lot of reports stating that Spurs are interested in a lot of players right now, but the one that Spurs are trying to get done, and it's very evident now that the likes of Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein and Florian Plettenberg from Sky Germany, they have all stated that, this deal for Mohammed Kudus is, Spurs are trying to get this deal done. They've put an offer in of £50 million. It has been rejected. There is interest from Chelsea. There is interest from the Saudi League. There is apparently interest from even Manchester United and other clubs as well. And will Spurs get this deal done? £50 million. If Spurs do see Mohammed Kudus as their key target, which a lot of reports are stating this, he is their key target. Thomas Frank has approved this signing as well. We know that this isn't solely a Thomas Frank player that he wants, because we know that Spurs have been heavily interested in Mohammed Kudus before, even before he signed for West Ham, and Spurs were apparently interested in Mohammed Kudus even when Postecoglou was the Tottenham Hotspur boss. So this does seem very much a club signing to me, with the seal of approval from Thomas Frank. But as I said, if Spurs see this as a key target and they must have this player, then they've got to go back very quickly with an offer, because there is a lot happening in the Premier League at the moment in terms of signings for our key rivals. Arsenal have just signed another player today for over £50 million. And a lot of these teams and a lot of our rivals are going big in this transfer window. And, although Spurs have got a couple of deals over the line, these are not marquee signings, with respect. And, Tottenham fans want to see the club show real ambition. And, as the club have come out and said, we want to win the Premier League and we want to win the Champions League, but we've got a lot of work to do then, haven't we? Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. If you do have a spare minute, please do vote for us at the Football Content Awards 2025. All of the details are below and your support is really appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.